Now, just a little background, the Daffodil project and making Rideau Lakes the official daffodil capital of Ontario was the Township-wide Beautification Committee initiative, which began in 2010, as outlined in the proclamation. And it was inspired by the residents of Freeland Road near Portland, whose vision and hard work over many years has resulted in a hillside display each spring of thousands of blooms, and local committees began purchasing and planting daffodils. And our 17 local beautification committees, listing them all, certainly took part, and hundreds of residents of the township have purchased and planted thousands of daffodils on their own properties, along fences and at the sides of roads. Owners of golf courses, stores, gas stations have added daffodils to their landscaping, and students have planted daffodils at their schools, and seniors have planted daffodils along their property. Daffodils can be seen at cemeteries and in churches, in gardens and hamlet signs, in libraries and community centers besides heritage buildings and along the roadsides. And more than 15,000 bulbs are known to have been planted thus far. So we want to increase that from 15,000 to about 30,000 by next year. Anyway, so get your diggers ready. Certainly it's been a great privilege, and there's been many people involved. I can think, and I know it's always danger to mention a few, and because you're going to miss some others, but it's rather interesting. Jones's Falls neighbor Ron Dobson and David Boyd have been planting daffodils each autumn since 2007 and enjoy the pleasures which motorists get each spring. Boyd estimated that over 1,500 bulbs have been planted along the roadsides around Jones's Falls. So reported in the Mirror. And then we go on, and we have some other locally here. We have Ann Enderby, who has such a great display just down the corner of the road down here on her property, and that's a real asset to the community in bringing forward the daffodil program. And even here, between here and our planting just over here and over on the far side of the road, I believe that Ian and Rennie Bongers, am I correct on that, were involved with that. Dalton Phillips and Matt and Abigail Oakham. So congratulations to all of them. And I know there's many other youth of our community who have also been involved. It's interesting to note that when I was reading some of the background on this, there's also some law enforcement involved with this. I'm reading an excerpt from a letter here from one of our residents, and I think you'll know who it is. I don't think the person's here today, but anyways, I think you'll know who I'm talking about when I read it. It was hard work digging through the long grass, fertilizing, inserting the bulbs, and recovering them. Year after year, we tended to plant them at Thanksgiving. One year, one of my kids said, "I'll be home Labor Day, but don't expect me again until Christmas, just to escape the planting." We certainly have had our problems. I have become very protective during the springtime, for I zealously guard these flowers and chase after cars. So there's the law enforcement part of it. One person came along and proceeded to dig out a bunch of daffodils at a location furthest from the house. And I had noticed her actions and immediately drove up to confront her. "Replant those in the ground now," she said. And she had come prepared with her shovel and a large number of plastic bags in her trunk. Grudgingly, she replaced the bulbs while her husband sat in his vehicle and watched. Anyways, it also goes on to state that in future years that she did notice that people were stopping and taking pictures of the daffodils along the side of the road. Anyways, I won't mention any names, but Diane Haskins was very proud of me mentioning that.